Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make these surgical masks. They're super easy to make and they would be great for your family or even donating them to your local hospital because they are needing surgical masks. I decided to make this kind because I've seen a couple of things come out as far as what the needs are for specifically hospitals, nurses, doctors, things like that. I decided to go with this style because it does nicely go over the nose. It ties, and it has an envelope on the side where they can stuff more paper towels, toilet paper, whatever they want to use to add an extra barrier of protection when working in the hospitals. These are also great for your family members, and they are reusable if you want to wash them. There's nothing in here that cannot be washed or sanitized. I went with this style because it does have straps instead of the ear elastics for a couple of reasons. One, I can't find elastic anywhere, which is a great problem to have because that means everybody is out there making masks. But the other thing too that I saw from a nurse on social media that said that everybody's ears are getting really worn out from wearing the masks. So I actually think that these are going to be better because they can tie them and give their ears a break. So that's why I went with this style. You can, with this mask, easily sew in an elastic here instead of these straps. This is a pretty versatile style of a mask to use. So you can either do elastic on the side or you can just sew on these straps here. The other thing too, like I said, is there is a side. It goes through on both sides. There's a pocket that you can add in more stuffing for a layer of protection, which is another thing that they had asked for, that they can add in more things on the inside to put a barrier between them and their patient. I did go ahead and line these, so there's 3 layers in this mask. There's the front and the back, and then on the inside there is a layer of flannel, as a more tightly woven flannel on the inside to add another layer of protection. The other thing that they had mentioned was that they want the mask to be 2 different styles of fabric, so they know when they're reusing these which side they had inward and which side they had outward, and they don't, accidentally put the wrong side on. This mask can be flipped inside and out as well, so it's easy to do that. You can get a lot of uses out of this mask. It goes all the way up over the nose. The other request that they had is that it goes under the chin, so it doesn't stop right here, that it actually goes under and protects from the bottom as well. So you can see how it goes over the nose and completely under the chin, which is another request that they had. Now they did also mention that it would be nice to have a piece of metal or something in here to hold that shape, but I can't find anything right now, which is another reason why I went with this style instead of the flat, because it does have that nice curve to naturally go over the nose and not cover the eyes. So that's another great reason why I decided to go with this style. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to make these, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I will say this, I am not a sewer. I know how to use a sewing machine, but I'm not perfect at it. My sewing machine is ancient. It's really old, but it gets the job done. My lines are not straight by any means, but it's not about that. It's about getting out as many of these masks as we can, as fast as we can, to the people that need them. So this is not about perfection. I didn't measure anything with a tape measure. I just used my eye and eyeballed where I wanted things and how much I wanted of fabric, and I just went ahead and started sewing. So I hope you find this video helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, and let's get started making these masks. First, we're going to create our templates. You are going to have 2 different size templates, so go ahead and freeze this frame so you can get an idea of what your template needs to look like. One is going to be about 1 inch to 1.5 inches longer than the other, and this allows extra room for you to attach your elastic band or sew on your straps. Once you have your templates made, you're going to go ahead and select 2 different patterns of fabric and trace out your templates on the patterned fabric. I've decided to use the red one as the front-facing part of my mask, and then the floral one as the back-facing part of the mask. Once you've traced your templates onto your fabric, you're going to go ahead and cut those out. And then you're going to use the smaller template to cut out an inside part made out of an interfacing, or like I'm using here, just a piece of flannel. Once you have your patterns cut out, we're going to move on to the straps. Again, this is optional. You can skip this step if you're using elastic bands, but if you're going to do straps, I've cut about 4 inches in width from another piece of fabric in just a straight line. I will then go ahead and divide that in half and cut another straight line. You can see it's not perfect. We're not aiming for perfection. We're just aiming to get these masks completed as quickly as possible. Once you've cut your fabric in half, I go ahead and trim the ends off, and then I'm going to go ahead and split these fabric pieces in half again. So now I have 4 individual straps ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and iron all of the pieces just to make sure they're straight, there's no kinks in them, and they're ready to go. After you have ironed your pieces, you're going to take the shorter end and fold it about 1/4 of an inch back and go ahead and iron that. That's going to make sure we have a good clean seam on all of our masks. For the straps, I iron them out so they're nice and straight, and then I fold in the top about 1/4 of an inch. I will iron that down, and then I flip it over, do the same thing with the other side, and then I will go ahead and sandwich those pieces together to make a nice strap. I use a bigger piece of fabric so it's easier for my hands to get in there and make it work seamlessly. Once I have all of the pieces ironed and ready to go, I'm going to sew the middle flannel piece to the smaller size of the template that we used, and I'm sewing the flannel to the inside pattern of the fabric, not the piece that's going to be showing on the outside. Once I have that part done, I'm going to go ahead and sew the 1/4 inch flap down so those parts are done as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and take both of those pieces and I'm going to put the outside parts of the fabric together, sandwich them together, and then I will sew them with a 1/4 of an inch seam on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing minus the middle insert with the longer piece of the patterned fabric. Now that I have everything sewn together separately, I'm going to go ahead and put them both together. Pretty sides sandwiched face to face, and then we'll go ahead and sew the top part. Because these are cupped shape, you want to make sure that you push your seams on the individual cups in the opposite direction so there is no bunching. So I'm going to slide one over to the right and one over to the left, and make sure that there's no bunching at the top where all four of those pieces of fabric are going to meet. Once I have the top parts done, I'm going to go ahead and sew a straight line across the bottom, again making sure that I am pushing those seams on the individual pieces in the opposite direction so there is no unnecessary bunching at the bottom of the mask. Once that's complete, I'm going to go ahead and turn my mask right side out, and then I'm going to give it a good ironing on the seams so it's nice and crisp as well. Now that it's ironed, I'm going to take those extra pieces of fabric and turn them inward on each other, kind of like a paper airplane in a sense, and then I'm going to iron that down. It's important to note that they don't have to meet in the middle. You're basically just shaping the outside of the mask, and it can be a little imperfect if necessary. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Then I'm going to take that and fold it in on itself so it gives us a nice clean edge when the mask is all completed. Now we're going to sew a straight line down our 4 straps. Now that we have our straps all sewn, you're going to take one of your straps and insert it into that pocket that we have created, and then you're going to fold it back on itself, almost like an accordion fold, and angle it up. That way it will go over the ears in a comforting way instead of going straight across the ears. Once you've got that measured out, you're going to go ahead and sew that one, and then you'll do the same with the bottom strap, and then you're going to repeat the process on the other side, and your mask will be completed. you guys have it. I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you, and good luck making your masks. Again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I will try and be as helpful as I can, knowing that I am not a professional sewer. I'm just here to try and make these masks for family, friends, and our nurses and doctors that are on the front lines during this COVID pandemic. My name is Sydney. This is the Pleasant Street Farmhouse. If you're new here, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the bell notification so you get notified when I come out with more content. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.